The collaboration with Julie was almost instantaneous. When Julie showed up here on site, and it was one of our design sessions, she took to the project immediately, and we took to her immediately. She would spend hours drawing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing again the pathways. You've seen the pathways, which were really created via the old transportation system, which were train tracks. And originally, when these buildings were built, were train cars pulled by horses. And Building 15, one of the buildings that we renovated, was a stable for those horses. And so the whole Navy Yard complex was connected by these train tracks, which to some degree had become invisible because some people had paved over them, some people had previously ripped up part of them, and so there were hints of them. And that's what I'm saying about Julie. Her eye caught it immediately and registered, oh, that could be the pathways between the buildings, because that's what they were. They were pathways between the buildings. And so she'd start there, and that was the framework. And then she would go beyond that, and as we discussed, this idea of Barney rubble, of taking a lot of the used slabs of cement or even asphalt that had been created by the demolition of some of the connectors between the buildings that were no longer here. She wanted to use those, and she wanted to use them as the dressing for some of her planting. And that was a bit of a shock to me because I'd never seen that before, but I think it worked incredibly well. I mean, incredibly well. I mean, it's one of the signatures down here. And so we have this, again, this juxtaposition, these beautiful green trees, and in the springtime, if you were here, you'd see the flowering cherries over and under which is all this Barney rubble. So it's that tension that is created by this beautiful scene of cherry blossoms, and then all this rubble that looks like bombed-out city. I think that's where the beauty is, and that's where the interest is. And one of the main reasons we did these buildings, there were a couple, but one of them at least was for it to be an inspiration to the creative teams that work here, because from my point of view, our value add in this world as a retailer is our degree of creativity. And we hire a lot of creative people, and then how do we inspire them to be even more creative? And how better than for them to work in buildings or in a yard, a Navy Yard, that is in and of itself semblance of that creativity.